Yo, what's good, guys? KosherTech here. So today, of course, we got some more Chinese RGB fans to review. Let's get to it. Now, these right here are from Asiahorse. This is shout out to, of course, to the Discord server. I have the link in the description below. You guys been helping me out with new products. Now, this is a new design from Asiahorse. This is their Matrix 240. So this is like a radiator design. So this is a 240 radiator design, but with fans. We'll unbox it. We'll go through it. And this is a 360 fan design, like radiator fan design. Again, we're gonna unbox it. The 240 is gonna run you, right? 240 is gonna run you, I believe, 30 bucks, and no, $40, right? Yeah, $40. And the 360 is gonna run you $50. So it's basically $90, right? Let's round it up with tax and $100 you're basically gonna spend with this. But anyway, let's unbox the 240 first. Now they do come in white, I think only in white. Let's pop this over. And of course, I'll have the link in the description below. But anyways, damn, look at that. I'm rushing it. Kosher, calm down. Of course, we have a typical Asiahorse logo here. I wish they had more literature here, you know, make the box a little better, make the presentation nice. We have here the product parameter. We have the different size, so 240 RPM between 800 to 1800 RPM. So they are PWM, which is nice. Different breakdown, essentially, etc., etc., etc. But anyways, I'm too excited. Let's pop this bad boy open. Okay. Damn it. Screws be falling. Let's pop that there. All right, so this is the 240 design, 120 mil fans. We don't have a hub. We have this, the controller itself we have to use, which is really whack. So this is better if you have an aRGB setup. It does come with SATA, which is nice. We're gonna look at this, how to install this in a minute. So again, aRGB setup. This goes into the hub. We do have screws here if you do want to install it to the radiator, which is nice, rad screws and regular screws. So this is like a whole interesting, you know, this whole, essentially how it works is this entire LED is gonna light up. The fans, I believe the fans are FS9002 fans, which is dope. So this whole entire thing is gonna light up, you know, whichever RGB colors we're gonna look in a sec. The presentation looks nice, but look, the whack thing is if one fan fails, you cannot replace it. You have to replace the entire unit, which is pretty whack. But look, you cats wanted me to review this. I'm gonna review this. We're gonna rock with it. You know, this looks pretty interesting. This is braided, so these are pretty nice. Now these are regular fan headers, right? 4-pin PWM fan headers, so you could plug this into your motherboard. You don't have to use a proprietary hub or anything like that. So that's pretty dope. I think it most likely is gonna go into the CPU header. We're gonna find out in a sec. So let me just show you guys basically how this works. So this is the controller. All right, let's take the controller out. And the 360 essentially works the same way, but since I'm already in the topic, let's do it. All right, so this is the SATA. So SATA is for power. It's much better than Molex because SATA is commonly used. So this is for power. So you're gonna plug this in from your power supply into a SATA power cable connector, right? So that's plugged in, go there. Now this is the controller, right? So this male 3-pin. Right, so what you're gonna want to do if you're using the aRGB functionality, I believe you don't have to. So then what you're gonna want to do is, so essentially, okay, let's make it simple, right? So if you are using your aRGB on your motherboard, you do not need this. This controller is basically if manually you want to switch it, you know, and stuff like that. But in the sake of the video, I am going to be using this controller, which just sucks. I wish they had it. So again, this controller is only if you're going to want to use it manually with the control. If you don't want to use the control, if you want to use the aRGB functionality, all you have to do, right, is just to plug this aRGB into your 3-pin aRGB header on your motherboard, and that's basically it. Now, if you don't, what you're gonna essentially do is you're just gonna plug it in this way, like how I'm gonna plug it in. I believe this is another port, right? And then you have your fan. Oh, so it just has one. So it has one fan, 4-pin PWM fan header, I believe, for 2 fans. That's pretty interesting. Now let's unplug. Now let's unbox the 360. Let me just see how it. It's the same setup. All right. So again, same exact thing, just a 360 design, basically like a 360 rad. Same exact thing. So here, right? So essentially what I would have to do is I would have to daisy chain them, which I'm going to show you guys that in a sec right now, how basically that works. So these are the different fan ports. Now what you could also do if you have a fan splitter at home, just use a flat fan splitter. It's going to just make it easier. It's going to make it easier to plug in all these fans, right? So we have this, right? Same thing. So for the controller, I think I could just manage with one. So I think what I would have to do is, since I have it plugged in like this with the controller, this end, where is it? This end, right? This male end is going to go into this female end, this aRGB female end. Now, I believe, let's see. Oops, let me plug this in here. And now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, see, I'm just doing this off the bat. I think I just messed up because this is a female, this is a male. I gotta see, maybe this. Hold up, I'll figure this out on the go because I'm kosher. Right, so this, right, would have to go. So this female aRGB, right, is gonna go into this male aRGB. Right, so we're gonna plug this in. Now this female, again, this is if you're using a hub. If you're not using a hub, if you're gonna wanna do it like this, all you have to then do is just plug this aRGB into your motherboard and you're essentially Gucci in that sense. Oh, let me just cover this because I don't want this thing to bend. Okay, then what we're gonna do essentially is just plug this in, right, into the hub. And that's basically it. And then I could plug this via SATA, right? And then if I want to use this hub, this is how I'll use it. If I'm not gonna, and then of course these 4-pin fan headers, if you have a splitter, it's easier, just connect them all with the splitter, with the fan splitter, because I don't believe they gave us a fan splitter here, which it is what it is, right? And this is basically, this is for a reset switch. So if instead of you pressing your restart button to restart your computer, you can just press this and I believe it's gonna switch colors. I'm gonna look into that. Maybe that'll be easier for me to demonstrate it. But yeah, again, lastly, if you don't care to use this controller, you don't have to. If you just want to use the aRGB software, whichever software manufacturer you have, all you have to do is plug this into your aRGB header on your motherboard, 3-pin aRGB 5-volt header, and you're basically good to go. If you want to use the controller, all you have to do is just plug this in like this and essentially power it on via SATA, and you are essentially good to go. That's it. I hope this helped out, guys. But anyways, let me install all of this and let's see how it rocks. Let's go. Now I gotta be honest, guys, the wire management is not that bad. I just made it like this so you know I could explain it to you as we go. All right, let's start, of course, with the controller first. Now, as I mentioned, this is the control. You can manually control it, right, by the presets here, the mode, speed. Now, speed is for the fan LED speed. This is not a speed for the fan RPM speed. Lastly, we got light, basically just to change the lights for the fans on the controls. And also, as I mentioned, of course, you do not need to use this controller. You could just unplug this aRGB and just plug in the aRGB wire into your three-port aRGB header. I'm sorry, I was about to say fan header, aRGB header, and then you basically don't need to use this controller whatsoever. Now, let's move on to the next. Remember I said this is for the reset switch? Yes, it is for the reset switch. As you can see, I have it plugged in here. So instead of so what this means is I have the reset button here, right? So every time I click my reset button, the colors of the LEDs are gonna switch. Now, every time you hit it, when you have it set up like this, the computer is not gonna restart, but the LEDs are gonna switch. So again, you know, to each their own. If you wanna do it like this, there's an option. If you don't wanna do it like this, you don't have to. You could just manually press it, or you could just plug it into your aRGB header, and then you could just use it like that. Next, the fan, the fans themselves, right? So remember, each fan, so how it works is, essentially, I guess they just split them, right? They split the signal. So for the 360 is split into they split it into one signal, essentially, right? And then the 240, same thing. So essentially here you just have two fan wires, right? So what I essentially did is I just plugged it into the CPU fan header, right? I just ran a fan extender, right? Because I didn't want to, you know, I just did it like that. I mean, you don't have to do it like that. And then all I did is I got a splitter, right? So I got a splitter, and I just connect the two of the fans into the splitter. So this one fan header essentially is connected to the CPU fan header for me to use it, for me to switch the RPMs manually through the BIOS with these fans. Overall, very simple design. We're going to get into the sound test right now and the RPM test for these fans, but not bad. I gotta say, really, really not bad, guys. So I just want to show you guys basically how, when they're installed, how they look. We're gonna run through the RGB test, you know, in a few. Just want to give you guys a better perspective. Now, it's gonna be easier to see in the RGB test because the lights are gonna be dim, but it's cool. Like, you know, this whole side, like this, what do you call it? The rad design, like you could see it's like all lit up, which is nice. You know, like you see the outside is lit up. There you go. I want it to focus. But you got to see, like I said, these are basically the FS9. I'm like, man, I want to say 90%, 90+%. All right, positive that these are the 9002 fans that have this. You know, they're all just packed into 3, and then they have this, you know, rad, right? You could say whatever the heck you call it. And I just love how it just lights up here on the side. It's fire, man. I really got to say, but it's fire. But again, it has its cons, as I mentioned in the video. If one fan fails, you know, you just basically got to replace the whole unit. But that looks beautiful here. Let's take it from the other side. Really nice. Now, I got to say, this fan wire over here, right? Now, it's pretty thick. I was trying to hide it, but it's popping out. Just keep that in mind. I mean, I try to make it as tight as possible, but, you know, that one's a little thick, so it was a little tough. But everything else, I managed to hide pretty well. Now, let's look at the top. Like, you see, look, it's pretty fire, man. Again, the lights are on when I'm in dim. Look at this. Look at the plastic shroud here. Like, it's lit up. Nice. Sick. Especially when you got the white AIO, too. Very nice. Look at them. They're gorgeous. Really, just really, really beautiful, guys. It's nice how the Corsair look. It's nice how the Corsair logo just lights up too. Oh well, it's making the Corsair logo look sick actually here too. But it's dope. I gotta say they're pretty fire. All right, just wanted to give you guys a quick look like that. Let's go. All right, guys. So as always, we got the mic around 8 inches off from the glass. Now the tempered glass is on. Now this is running at around 1,000 RPM. This is honestly whisper quiet. Let's turn it up a bit. Let's get some more RPM in here. Basically get a better understanding. Let's see. All right, so this is running at, I want to say like around 1,300 RPM. Again, whisper quiet. Let's turn it up. Now this is running at 1,500 RPM. Sounds not too bad, really manageable. Let's turn it up a bit more. Turn it up here first. All right, so now this is running at, I want to say around 1,700 RPM. Okay, now this is running around 1,800 RPM. Yeah, you know, you could already hear those fans. All right, let's turn it up. All right, so this is running at 1,900 RPM. All right, so this is basically at max at 1,900, or I want to say around 1,900 RPM, essentially max. Yeah, I mean, obviously, any fan at this speed, you'll hear him. Not too bad. The reason why I didn't put a rear fan is because the only set, remember, it was there's no 120 set of this. There's only 360 and 240. Other fan don't make sense, but when might do the RGB, I might add a fan. But for just the airflow and just the sound test, this is makes more sense. All right, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, I basically enabled the functionality for the RGB LED lights to change with the restart button. So right now, basically, this is a rainbow effect. I mean, look, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, as I also mentioned, they don't have a 120 mil design, so I just left that side empty, so it's gonna synchronize the rear fan, the rear exhaust fan. Just made it like that. Look, the rainbow effect looks really, really beautiful. You know, you guys can see it, gorgeous. Now this is a solid color white. All right. Now there's no brightness adjustment. I'm not using the aRGB software. I'm just using it, basically using the software which is built into the controller, right? This is a breathing effect. It's like a, yeah, it's pretty dope. It's like a yellow, what is this, green? What is this, like switching or something? That's this effect. Now, of course, you could speed them up. If I hold it, does it speed up? No. So you would have to basically speed them up from the controller. All right. This is honestly the same as the FS9002 fans. The effects are essentially basically exactly the same. This is a dope effect. How does it look in the other fan? It looks pretty sick too. It has this effect. Okay, that's pretty dope. That's this one. There's the rainbow, white, breathing. It was a yellow to green. Okay, so when you do the restart button, right, when you use it, it limits the, I guess, the overall options for the LEDs, but essentially this is actually pretty dope. And then you have this. Look, like I said, man, these are honestly pretty dope. This is something new. Yeah, I don't see anyone else making this on the market. I didn't see no reviews for it, so I would say maybe this is like a new approach for Asiahorse. I gotta say it's pretty dope. I did mount a 240 in a rad, right, in the radiator for the AIO. If you have a 360 mil rad, you could also just put these fans there. You know, they're dope, man. I gotta say, for the price, they're not too bad. Try them out. But guys, as I mentioned, if one fan goes, most likely got to replace the entire unit. That's the whack thing about it, you know. But hey, listen, if you're curious, if you like them, I say go for them, man. Honestly, I say go for them. They're pretty cool. Of course, you do also have the PWM functionality, you know. So everything is Gucci there, man. It's 90 bucks for the entire set. If you just want the 360 mil, got it for 50 bucks. If you want the 240, get it for 40 bucks. And listen, I bet you these things are gonna go on sale too. Give it a few, give it a week, a month. Sales are gonna come. You could probably even cop it for a lot less than that. But anyways, guys, I'm KosherTech. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, please. I'm pretty hyped. What do you guys think about this? Is this pretty dope? Is this trash? Is this whack? But anyways, I'm KosherTech. All right, I'm gonna catch you cats next time. Deuces.